holders, but it also covers people eligible for these programs but not currently enrolled. And it would cover a whole wave of dreamers who arrived in this country in 2007, 2015, and 2016. But our estimate, the Dream and Promise Act would benefit about 40,000 people here in our Commonwealth, plus their spouses, their children won't live in fear and won't be separated from their families. This is an important bill because it really changes the conversation. For the past 2 years, Dreamers and TPS holders have felt like pawns in the fight over immigration. DACA and TPS extension got offered as trade-offs for the border wall, interior enforcement, or cuts to illegal immigration. Dreamers were asked to accept deals that would save them at the expense of their own parents. This bill says no. Dreamers and TPS holders aren't bargaining chips. They are highly valued members of our community. They deserve to live here without fear or uncertainty. It's the right thing to do. No trade-offs. We know the road is difficult, but we are here with members of Congress, with powerful voices in Congress, who will tell us about the direction of this bill. I am really delighted to invite to the podium our amazing Senator Markey, a powerful voice in the Senate and a champion of immigration. Thank you so much, Senator, for being here.
And thank you, Ava, and thank you to Congressman McGovern, Congresswoman Clark, our great mayor of the city of Boston, Mayor Walsh, who has joined us, and to all of the DACA TPS recipients who are joining us here today. Thank you for all of your fearless leadership. This is a very important fight to have, and I want to thank all of the groups for being here today who support the Dream and Promise Act. This coalition represents the best of the Commonwealth and the best of our country, and we hear your call for justice. The Trump administration's reckless decision to terminate protections for Dreamers under DACA and immigrants with temporary protected status, or the Deferred Enforcement Departure Program, has upended the lives of hundreds of thousands of immigrants and their families. It has created devastating, widespread fear and uncertainty in the broader immigrant community. It is heartbreaking to witness the Trump administration strip protections away from people who are Americans in every way that should matter, leaving them to live under the threat of deportation. We are here to say no more. We are here to say we must pass legislation that protects these families. And I am proud that my Democratic colleagues in the House are taking bold action to create security and opportunity for immigrants in the Commonwealth and around the country. The Dream and Promise Act provides a permanent legislative solution to the crisis faced by DACA beneficiaries and immigrants with TPS and deferred enforced departure. I strongly support this bill, and I am committed to helping to create a pathway to citizenship for every single one of these immigrants. Many of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate share this resolve. We know that it will be an uphill battle in a Republican-controlled Senate, but we are prepared to fight tirelessly to this end. We are energized, we are determined, we are unwavering, because we owe security and certainty to the immigrants who enrich our nation. These immigrants are engineers, police officers, teachers, and students, many in our great Massachusetts institutions of higher learning. They serve bravely in our military. They are the best and brightest, and they are making the most of the opportunities that the United States has always provided to immigrant communities. We will not abandon those who have given so much to our country. We will not pit groups of immigrants against one another. We will fight together to ensure that all immigrant communities receive the protections which they deserve. This building is where the immigration office is. This building, this immigration building, should not represent what is happening in our country. This immigration building should represent hope, not hate. This building should represent the future and not fear. This building should represent a welcome and not worry. It should be a dream and not despair. It should represent a promise and not a punishment. That is why we are here today, to ensure that our voices are heard from Massachusetts and that that voice is heard across our country and that we pass legislation to protect all of these families. So let me turn now and introduce our powerful chairman of the House of Representatives Rules Committee, Congressman Jim McGovern.
Well, thank you. I want to thank my colleague Ed Markey. I'm happy to be here with Catherine Clark, and Ava, thank you, Amira, and I'm happy to be here with the great mayor of the city of Boston, Mayor Walsh, and so many friends and activists who are here because we care very deeply about our immigrant community. And we are here today to make it clear to the Dreamers and to TPS holders that we have your back, that we are going to fight for you, that we are going to support legislation in Washington to give you a pathway to citizenship, because to do anything less would betray our values. We are also here to send a message to Donald Trump that we're sick and tired of your hate. We're sick and tired of your anti-immigrant rhetoric. We're sick and tired of your bigotry. And every time you open your mouth, every time you tweet about our immigrant community, you diminish our country. You betray our values. The people that we are talking about, the DACA recipients and the TPS holders, they have legal status in this country. The average DACA recipient came here when they were 6 years old. Some of them now are in their 20s and older. The average TPS recipient has been here for over 22 years. They've been here legally. If you have TPS, you have to register with the federal government. You have to go through a background check. And every 18 months you have to do the same thing. So not only are they complying with the law to keep this status, they are the most law-abiding people in our country. I wonder how many people in the Trump administration cabinet could pass a background check. But these people do every 18 months. So these are people we should value in our community. We should celebrate their presence here in our community. And we should fight for them to be able to stay here. Now, I know a little bit about TPS because a long time ago I worked for a congressman named Joe Moakley who wrote the TPS statute. The key word in temporary protected status is protected. And people coming from countries, especially like El Salvador and Honduras, and I go on and on and on, are fleeing the most violent situations imaginable. The people coming to our border from these countries are coming because they're fleeing for their lives. To take somebody who's been here for 22 years, who's maybe got married, has kids, has a job, has a business, has a mortgage, and say, you're no longer welcome here, is not only cruel, it is unconscionable. And we will not let that stand. Look, we are going to act on the Dream and Promise Act. We're going to pass that in the United States House of Representatives. Senator Markey mentioned I'm the chair of the Rules Committee. I can bring things to the floor. This is coming to the floor for a vote and for a debate. And we're going to win. And we're going to send it over to the Senate, where I know Senator Markey is going to fight hard to try to get his colleagues to bring it up for a vote in the Senate. And I believe there is bipartisan support for this. How could anybody with a heart turn their backs on these people? Now, I don't know what the president would do if it came to his desk. I'm not sure he has a heart when it comes to people who are fleeing violence or who are immigrants in our community. But I'll just close as I began The people that we are talking about here are people that we should value, we should celebrate, we should treasure, and deserve all of our support. And we are going to have their back, and we are going to fight for them. And I look forward in the not too distant future to winning, because I believe ultimately we will win, and we will not give up until we win. So thank you very much. I'm now happy to introduce my colleague, who's now a leader in our Democratic caucus, and who has a great future, and I'm proud to serve with her, Congresswoman Catherine Clark.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Eva. It is so good to be here with Mira and our other allies and partners, with Senator Markey, my friend and colleague Jim McGovern, and of course the ally we count on for so many things, but the mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh. And I'm very proud to be here with Jose. He is one of my constituents in Malden, and he is a TPS recipient from El Salvador, and he exemplifies not only how TPS makes our communities better, but the American dream. He came here seeking refuge, he's raising a family, he's a homeowner, and he owns a small business. He is a job creator in my district and in the Commonwealth. And what we are here to celebrate is that here in the Commonwealth, we're not about building walls. We're about building bridges. And we are about recognizing that what we do for Dreamers and what we do for TPS is what we do for our democracy. And that the two are tied and we cannot separate them. So we are going to be in this fight. And Jim McGovern and I are going to make sure that the Dreamers and Promise Act gets passed. Time is ticking for too many people. There are deadlines coming up, and as Ava said, we cannot rely just on the federal courts. We need to make sure that we are taking advantage of this moment where we have some temporary security for families to ensure we have permanent security. We will get this through the House, but we need all of us together to help out Senator Markey and his Democratic allies to make people understand that the people we're fighting for, they are what makes America great. And that the very things this administration professes to support are right here in our communities. People who know the understanding of hard work, of being law-abiding, of giving back to their communities, of creating jobs, and defining what it means to have an American dream. It is good for all of us. It is good for our communities when we push back together against these dangerous and hateful and bigoted policies. We're going to stick together and get this through the Senate. And we're going to work locally, on the state level, and the federal level to do it. Our message to you is, we see you, we hear you, and we are going to work together to make sure that we fix this. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the Mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh.
No event is complete without our fabulous mayor. Thank you so much for being here.
Listen, let me just start by thanking everyone for coming out today. I usually start my speech off saying I'm a proud son of immigrants. Today I'm saying a little different. 28% of the people that live in the city of Boston are like my mother. They were born in another country. 48% of the people that live in our city are first generation like I am. That I often say we're either one boat or plane ride away from being immigrant ourselves. Government should respect our immigrant community. Federal government should respect our immigrant community. I'm not going to repeat what the senator said, or either the Congress people here. They're incredible leaders, and they've been at this fight from day one, from 2016, from January 2016 to today. This act, the Dream and Promise Act, is about offering solutions, not scapegoats. Not villainizing and criminalizing our immigrants, not talking about how they're criminals and they're bad, As I said to you earlier, 28% of the people in our city were born in another country. We're one of the most successful cities in America if you look at the numbers, whether it's our economy, whether it's our housing production, whether it's our education, whether it's our low numbers in crime. We're a good, safe, strong city because we're an immigrant city. We need to make sure we treat immigrants like people, not problems. Because our immigrants are people. One of those people I'm going to go visit later on tonight and say hello to her and give her a kiss. Because when she came to this country, because she wanted to earn a few dollars to send back home to her parents. Because they were raising 6 of her brothers and sisters. My father, when he came to this country, he's one of 13. He came here with nothing, literally nothing. And when he came here to work, and what he did was he helped build this city. He worked in construction jobs in downtown and in Cambridge, other places. Immigrants built this country. Maybe there's some people that don't want to understand that or recognize that, but every time you walk into a church, there's a good chance that that foundation that was laid in that church was built by immigrants. That altar that was built by immigrants. The pews that we sit in were built by immigrants. The people that supported that church in the very beginning, regardless of the faith, were immigrants. We need to make sure that everyone understands that the city of Boston, we stand with our residents, all of our residents, our immigrants, and all the people that are here. I know we're talking about TPS and DACA today, but Boston, we stand with all our immigrants, regardless of who they are or what their status is. We need to continue working closely with MIRA and other organizations to make sure that we move forward. Now, I am thrilled that Congressman McGovern spoke today, that Congresswoman Clark spoke today about passing this through the United States Congress, because that's important. And we have 2 incredible senators here in Massachusetts that we know where they stand, and Senator Markey's here today. And I had a meeting with Senator Markey a couple weeks ago. I was in his office, and we were just talking about life. And there's 98 other members of the United States Senate that we need to reach out to. And how can we help there? We can call our friends, our family, in other states across America to let them know the importance of having their voices heard in their cities and towns. I will make sure, as mayor of Boston, the largest city in New England, that our voice will be heard at the U.S. Conference of Mayors across the United States of America to let other United States senators know the importance of making sure not only that this comes for a vote in the United States Senate, but it actually passes. And then we put pressure where we need to put pressure. Usually when we stand outside a federal building or a city building or a state building and we talk policy, we're talking about politics. We're talking about passing legislation that's political and it's politics. This isn't about politics today. This is about values. Where are our values as a city, as a state, as a country? That's what this legislation is about. It has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with values. And we need to continue to make sure that we let people know that we're talking about values and we're talking about human beings. We're talking about people. We're not talking about a grand policy. We're not talking about the Affordable Care Act as far as passing, even though that deals with people. We're talking about people. We're talking about people that live in the city of Boston right now and all over, that are afraid, that love this country as much as somebody born here does. So I want to thank everyone that's here today. I want to thank you because you are making our city and our country better. And we will continue to fight to make sure that everybody has a fair shot at the American dream. Because if somebody told my mother and father in 1967 when I was born, in 1968 when I was 1, in 69 when I was 2, that you're not welcome here, then I wouldn't be standing here as mayor of the city of Boston. I'm only here because 2 immigrants came to this country. They got married, they found each other, got married, they had a child, and they came here because America was the American dream. We talk about the slogan, make America great again. America's always been great. It's always been great. We need to continue to make America great so people that are here can go to bed at night and don't worry about the future of their family. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for your advocacy today. And I want to thank the press. I want to thank the press that's here today. Because generally we have a press conference with 3 or 4 or 5 people here, sometimes 5, covering the event. I want to thank you for your covering this event today. Because it's so important that we get the message out of the immigrants that are standing here in City Hall Plaza. Because they are part of the 28%, most of them are part of the 28% of our city that were born in another country, and all of them are our brothers and sisters of the city. Thank you very much.
Congressman McGovern, I'm so proud to be your constituent for over 20 years. Congresswoman Clark, thank you so very much. And at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Jose Urreas, who is a GPS holder, and he is a business owner and an employer. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Jose Urreas. As everyone say, I'm a GPS holder, and also I'm a small business owner. And I mean, as being living in the United States for the past 22 years, I am part of my community. I am part of this country. I create work for other people. So how are we going to allow this administration? I said I work so hard to create my business, to achieve my dream. How are we going to let them tell me that I have to shut down my business? How are we going to let them separate my family? I'm just an example of thousands of families across the country. We cannot allow this administration to do this to us. This is an emergency for us. We have until September 9. After September 9, we are in problems. We just not have a problem. We not just have a problem on that. I guess also we facing driving license in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. All the TPS holders after September, we're going to be losing our driving license. After 22 years playing by the rules, doing as what they told us to do, how dare can tell me I'm not allowed to be here, I'm not allowed to keep raising my family. They are American citizens too. So where is the difference? Why? Can we ask the question, why? Why are we against the people who play by the rules and we do what we can? We pay taxes, we do everything we need to do. I don't think it's fair, and we need to fight for and we expect from our senator to be a champion and pass this legislation. And also the Congress, they need to be a champion. That's what we expect from Massachusetts. That's why we've been meeting all of them across the country, and that's why we decide as a part of the TPS community of Massachusetts, we are being organizing across the country. We have around 60 communities across the country in 32 states to reach all those Congress senators for all different states to tell them they need to work with us and they need to stand by us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Our next speaker is Karina Han. She is a dreamer and a student at the Lebanon University.
Hi, my name is Karina. I am 20 years old and I'm currently attending Lesley University as a sophomore. I am planning to be an education teacher, so I'm going to double major in early ed and psychology. And I am here today. Well, first of all, thank you for being here and supporting us and standing with us. I just want to say that it's been such a pleasure working with advocacy, working with Mira, working with Sim. There's a lot of organizations that stand by and with us. And I came here to the United States when I was 4. I am under DACA now. I came from Honduras with my mom. My dad had CPS and he came when in 1999 because there was an earthquake in Honduras. And like many, also like Jose was saying, there's a lot of examples. I am one of them. I am under DACA, and that has given me a work permit, that has given me a social security number, and that is something that is very valuable to me because I've seen how hard my parents have worked. Altogether they have 8 children. I'm the youngest of them, and I am the only one here. Just recently my 2 siblings came, and I am just so grateful that DACA has given me the opportunity Even though I don't get financial aid and tuition help, that's one of the reasons why the Dream and Promise Act is going to do for me if it passes through with all your help. It's very important to me because I want to continue helping my family. I continue to work a lot. I have 2 jobs. Sometimes I go in the morning to one job, go to class, and then go to the next job because I want to be able to provide and help for my family because I know that they worked hard here. And so thank you so much for your support. This act will be so much for me and my family because it's not just going to help me, which the Dream Act was supposed to do in the beginning, but this one, it's not to be the most progressive one yet, but this one's going to help more than just me. It's going to help a lot of my friends, a lot of peers, a lot of allies, and my family as well. So thank you again for supporting us, and I'm just grateful for that you guys are here.
Thank you so much. She had to share a personal story a while back in the Megaton. I'm very pleased to invite our next speaker. His name is Ivan, and he is a student at the Pine Manor University. He is studying molecular biology. He is also Salvadorian, an immigrant, and a dreamer whose future depends on the passage of this bill. So please join us, Ivan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Thank you, members of the Dreamers, for being with us, joining us in this fight. It's not easy living as an undocumented student or immigrant in these days. It is hard, but there is a lot of courage, there's a lot of strength, and I know that America has the best people in the world. People who have heart, people who understand us, and people who know that this country was built with immigrants. I arrived when I was 16 years old. I graduated with honors from my high school, and now I am in college, and I'm studying molecular biology. And having the opportunity to have legal documentation will be like having doors, open doors of opportunities and joys and blessings. It will change my future. It will change many future of many people, many young students around the world, around the United States, I'm sorry. If I have accomplished so much living in the shadows, imagine how much more I can accomplish living without fear of deportation, living as an American. We are seeking opportunities. We are seeking of liberty. We are seeking of prosperities. We are seekers of the American dream. America will only be stronger if we see this situation not as a problem or a national emergency, but as the opportunity to welcome people who want to thrill and prosper and make America stronger, contributing to its economy and ensuring our democracy for generations to come. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today.
Our final speaker today is Mirva Sajus. She is a Haitian TPS holder. And I see Pastor Kiki. Thank you for connecting us with her. And thank you so much, Mirva, for being here. Please come to the podium. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mirva Sajus. I am a TPS recipient with my 2 children, a member of HAU, Haitian American United. I moved to U.S. with my 2 children after the earthquake. I have been working 3 jobs to raise them. My oldest son has graduated from Endicott College with an associate degree in business. He would like to obtain a bachelor's degree in business administration. Unfortunately, I can't afford it. My youngest son finished high school last year. He is at year up doing information technology, IT, and communication at New Hampshire University, Southern New Hampshire University. I'm also currently at Southern New Hampshire University in the healthcare management. As a single mother, I'm
I'm struggling with one kidney to help my children pursue their dream. It's not easy because I cannot get financial help or patient for them. If we could get permanent residency, it would be a life-saving and blessing. Thank you for your support and understanding.
Thank you so much, Mira. Allow me to thank our amazing speakers. Thank you again to the members of the media. This concludes our speaking program. And I just wanted to say that the Promise Act, the Dream and Promise Act, is not just a bill. It's a beacon of hope for over 2.5 million people across the country and 40,000 here in our Commonwealth. And Mira is committed to working with all of you and members of Congress, but with this leadership, yes, we will win. Thank you so very much.
Us every step of the way, but there's a new era where it is now possible to actually pass progressive legislation which will protect these families, and I think increasingly is going to put enormous pressure on them because this story is going to get bigger and bigger, and I think it's going to resonate with the American people. Time is of the essence. We have to have the hearings and the House of Representatives, get the legislation passed, hand it over to the Senate so that we are trying our best to pass the
investigating what happened during that whole time. Yeah, no, when I was a state rep, I found I was a co-sponsor on that legislation, and I think when there was a hearing, I testified on it back in 2001 and 2. Certainly, it's something that I think that I'd rather have people driving around with licenses than people not having licenses. And I think there's a pathway forward, and we also have issues with licenses, not just simply undocumented people. There's people here on visas that have a 2 or 3 year visa. They can't drive after a year of being here. So there's loopholes there too, and I'm happy to hear there's I think there's 13, 14 states in the country that recognize driver's licenses. So we need to take a good look at that, and hopefully it has a good hearing at the State House.
Thank you.
Mayor, thank you.
You said earlier today that you
I mean, a lot of the mayors and council mayors support this legislation, both Democrats and Republicans, because a lot of cities, the immigrants in their communities have different roles. I mean, some are part of the workforce, some are part of society, owning businesses. And when Trump came down with this executive order back in 2016,
Kenny? I'm sorry. Kenny. Kenny's a town. How are you? Here after the earthquake. Yeah. Oh, of course. I'll put you over here. Thank you. You want to get him too? Yeah. Yeah, how are you? Are you all set? Kenny, you can look right here then.
Okay.
Right here.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And what you can do, if you could just state and spell your name, and you can look right here because he's there too.
Okay, very good. So first name is Kenny, last name Azzy.
And you can spell Azzy?
Azzy is A as in apple, Z as in zebra, I as in India.
And you are TPS right now?
Yes, I am currently a TPS holder. I've been living in the state of Massachusetts for approximately 9 years. And we're here today just to bring support to this great cause, because as you know, a lot of people are impacted by it, and with the current bill that get introduced to by Congress, I think it's going to be a win-win situation for all of us.
Can you talk about the difference in your life if this passes? You'll be secure, you'll be safe, you can go about like anybody else you see walking down the street, just doing whatever you're capable of doing in your life without having to worry about the secure and the safe aspect of it. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it?
Definitely. When I first came here, I went to school. It was very difficult because once you do not have a green card, you do not have access to financial aid. But I was able to get it through, and 1 year ago, I was able to launch a business, consulting business, helping the different people get their project through. So if this passes, this is going to give me the opportunity so I can continue to proceed with that business venture, because as of right now, I'm in limbo because I do not know whether I will have the chance for the next 3 years to be in the U.S. to still operating this business. So this is the reason why I think it's very critical, because it's going to be a win-win situation for whether myself or also the American people, because deporting or removing the status for 100,000 of people, it's going to also impact the financial prosperity of this country. In the long term, it's going to be billions of dollars lost in GDP. Therefore, I think this is the best thing that we can do right now to pass this bill.
And one other thing, talk a little about, like, you don't know if, I think it's going to pass. But you're in sort of limbo. You don't know if it can't be the best, most secure feeling. Talk about how a person on TPS feels knowing that nothing is really certain, and that if you're banking, you probably had kids here, you started a business, you said, and why not like me or anybody else walking down the street who started a business, you don't have to worry about they're going to have to leave the country.
Exactly.
Talk about what that feels like, and you can look right here.
Okay. Once again, being a TPS holder, that's something whenever you wake up in the morning, you ask yourself whether you will be able to be around, because you go to sleep, you are thankful because you were able to get through one day, but you do not know what the next day holds, because your legal status in a country that you love, in the country that you have given back to, is not certain. Therefore, you are in this predicament where you see the people around you. You would like to make 5-year goals. You would like to make 10-year goals, but you cannot do that since you do not have any certainty on what's holding. So this is the reason why something like this, passing this bill, will definitely be a huge act for everyone.
Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a pain. Can we get a shorter version of that?
Of course.
At the end, you can say that's why this is so important to you.
Of course.
And just make it a little short. It's great. It's great.
So yeah, this bill, the reason why it's important, it's simply, when you're waking up in the morning, you do not know whether you will have the chance to be there the next day, because you cannot make 5-year or 10-year projection for your life, because nothing is certain. So this is the reason why a bill like this is going to be a win-win situation for pretty much all the impacted.
Good words. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the opportunity
I hope
to
it
shed light.
goes well for you.
Definitely. Thank you. And when we will be able to...
We'll be on tomorrow.
Okay.